Hey, Bryan. We're back. We're back. Another Wi-Fi podcast. And Bryan's got a new Tesla Model S Plaid.
Woo!
Yeah, you're rolling in style, man.
I am. But it's the biggest oxymoron I know.
Yeah. How do you like
two.
that
There's
thing?
three. So I got a loaner car because I'm getting my car fixed. So I get a loaner. But that loaner is a Model S Plaid.
Yeah.
That's one oxymoron. The other oxymoron is it's the fastest production car made, right?
Yeah.
But because it's a loaner, it's limited at 85 miles an hour.
Yeah, that's good. It'll keep you out of trouble. But
yeah, I mean, you can still do those 0 to 60 or really 0 to 80 pulls. So it's insanely fast. Like,
yeah,
it's crazy.
It's impressive. It's impressive. But overall, though, compared to the Model 3, it's not that big of a difference, right? Like, as far as the car goes.
Wait.
Well,
I know we've talked about this a lot, but yes, speed-wise, there's a lot of difference.
Yeah, there's a lot of difference speed-wise, but the amount of value you get in a Model 3 versus a Model S is like, it's just not there, right? Like
I mean, we're talking about what, like a $40,000 difference,
yeah.
$30,000 difference. So maybe a little more with the rebate, right?
Yeah,
we didn't put that into play. So maybe 45 to 50K difference almost. But yeah, so you're getting a bigger car, so you have a lot of room in the back. The trunk is huge. That's really cool. It is it's way fast, incredibly fast. And then the highway speeds, I haven't been able to like go too fast, but the acceleration at pretty much any speed is crazy. Like, you could be going 60 and you can hit 80 in like no time.
Yeah, for sure.
So like getting on the highway is not an issue. You just got to worry about if there's a car in front of you.
Yeah.
And you got to be very cautious. So
you'll be there fast.
Yeah, so I do like that. And then I guess I would use it, but like there's this really cool feature where, the suspension, you have control over the suspension, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, you have a high, medium, low, and then you can set those, obviously, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then you have comfort. Then I think there's maybe like a chill, and then there's a sport, and then there's customize.
Mm-hmm.
And so you can, like, if I go into a parking lot and there's a bump, I can change it to put it high so I don't like scratch the bottom of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Well, the car will remember every time you go into that parking lot, or it will remember where you set that, and it will like it will tell you, okay, it's raising the car because this the road is not great.
That is nice. The air rides.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Like my car doesn't have what your new car has, right? I can't do anything with the suspension whatsoever. And then you have the better seats, and they're ventilated seats. I love those things. Mm-hmm. I like that you can walk to the back of the car and the trunk will open.
Mm-hmm.
I do like that. It's a little slow. Like, you got to wait for it to beep, and then it opens. So if you're carrying a lot of groceries, it's not that bad, though. It's better than trying to reach in your pocket, get your phone out, and like pop the trunk, or like trying to reach the button and opening it.
Yeah. So there's definitely some improvements on the Model S between the Model S Plaid and the Model 3 Performance, but with the new Model 3 Performance, the gap is like a lot closer, I think. Like, until they refresh the Model S, there's not, other than that insane speed and the air ride, there's not a huge amount of difference between the two.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's a bigger Model 3 Performance.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
Nice, but it's nice you got to check it out for a week.
Yeah.
Now you're gonna feel sad going back into your Model 3.
I hope it doesn't ruin the Model 3 Performance.
It's kind of like what happened when I drove the new Model 3 Highland. I was like, oh, okay, I gotta do.
Yeah.
Gotta.
The other thing I would say is, like, and this is true. I think this is true for your car, but you might think otherwise. Like, the Model S, like the power band, the access to power is like it feels like it's all the way to the end.
Yeah, it doesn't slow down from like 0 to 200 miles an hour. It pulls pretty
Yeah,
insane.
it is. Yeah, it is insane.
Yeah.
Like I can get from 0 to like 85 because I say 85 because I get a little chime that says,
yeah,
you're reaching the limit in a very short.
Oh yeah, it probably
stretch.
does 0 to 85 in like 3 seconds.
It's insane, and to watch the speedometer like just go up, it's like kind of crazy.
Be careful. You only have one more day with it. Be careful.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, so I got this car for like a week.
Yeah.
And it ties in, their loaners, they tie into like your phone and everything. So, yeah, so it's a pretty cool car.
It is good. I want to see like how sad you are to give it back, if you are or not, because I know when you see the Model 3, like you're like, oh, this is going to be easier to park and get in my garage and things like that.
I do. I will say that it definitely, when I'm parking in a parking spot, I do feel, obviously it's a bigger car, it's wider, so you definitely feel the size when you're trying to park it. My garage is smaller, so my garage door comes right to the end of it. It's like really, really close. Within probably like 6 inches, 7 inches, somewhere around there.
Yeah, so you got to be more careful parking it, driving it around, especially in the city and stuff. Going to be a little bit more difficult.
Yeah,
for sure. But cool to experience. Good.
Yep,
Glad you got to do that. All right, so talking about some Wi-Fi 7 now. We just got a shipment coming in on the ECW526, which is the 2x2 Wi-Fi 7 access point. I know it's still kind of limited, but
limited in supply.
Limited in supply, but a lot of people are going to be interested in it. So I want to talk a little bit more about that one in particular, because it's a little bit more flexible, right? Because the 526, it only requires PoE plus power, right?
Yeah, it consumes maximum of 21 watts.
21 watts. So it'll work with any PoE plus switch. Now, if your internet connection is a gigabit or under, especially if you're a hotel or something, and you're sharing a gigabit, or a lot of hotels only have 500 meg, because the business connections cost more. In that case, and you have a lot of access points, a lot of customers, you probably don't need multi-gig switches for this one. Unless
it's definitely beneficial. Right?
It's always beneficial, but as far as like upgrading to Wi-Fi 7, you have 1 gigabit switches, or you want to use 1 gigabit switches, it's going to be easier to use that 526.
For sure.
Because standard, all of our 1 gig switches, they're available pretty much, and they're going to provide that PoE plus and connectivity for those access points.
Yeah, and if you're looking for an 8-port, you have the ECS2510 FP.
Right.
That's a $299 price point 8-port multi-gigabit switch that offers PoE plus, 240 watt. You have plenty of power. You have multi-gig if you need, if you're trying to get there. I mean, the 526 has a 10 gigabit Ethernet port on there.
Right.
So you have plenty of, pipeline, really.
Plenty of overhead.
And then when you get into the single gig, switches, 24 and 48 port, our highest single gig 48 port is a $599 price point. So that's a cloud switch, 48 port, 740 watt. So you have a lot of great choices there, right?
Yeah, and that's another good point. So if you are using the Wi-Fi 7 ECW526, you should probably use at least the 24 port, 1520 ECS 1520 FP.
Yeah, that's a $349 price point.
Right, because that has 10 gig uplink.
Yes. Yep. Exactly. Yeah.
But it all depends. What's your connection? If you only have a 1 gigabit internet connection, I guess it doesn't matter that much. But if you do have a little bit faster, then you can uplink that to your connection, right?
Yep.
At 10 gig. Now, if you do have internet connection that's greater than 1 gig, like you have a 2 gig connection, then yeah, that 2510 FP is probably the way to go right now.
Yeah, I mean, our gateways, all of our gateways, the ESG gateways are all multi-gig. Then you have that 2510 FP, that's multi-gig, and then you have the 526, right?
Right.
So you have a really good pipeline all the way through to the internet connection.
Yeah. So we think that's the ECW526 will be getting more of those soon also. But that one's a little bit more. You have to think a little bit more about how you're going to implement it because it's a PoE plus access point.
Right.
Which I think ultimately most businesses will want to use the 4x4 because you can probably use fewer, but it also has more PoE requirements, higher PoE requirements. So you got to think a little bit more about that one. But yeah, the 526. I think it'll be good if anyone has any questions, like ask us about it, because I know there's a lot of interest in Wi-Fi 7 right now.
Yeah, and then so the 526 is a $299 price point, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you want me to mention this or not, but you can buy 2 and get 1 for free, right?
Right. If you're a partner or just regular. Well, yeah, you have to be a partner to request it, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah, that promo is still in place.
So you could get into a multi-gig gateway, a multi-gig switch, and 3 APs for almost under $1,000.
Yeah.
That's MSRP. That's not
right. That's not dealer.
That's not
dealer
your
price
partner's price.
Partner price. Right? Yeah. So I mean, it's an insane deal for Wi-Fi 7. And we're just around the corner from the new iPhone coming out, right? In September, there's going to be a new one every year.
Oh yeah, I gotta prep. I gotta get ready.
So we can't talk about that yet, but we will as soon as it comes out because we're going to see some insane speeds off of that, I'm sure.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting to see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, how confident are you in Apple implementing Wi-Fi 7?
I think people are like it's 100%, like it's going to be Wi-Fi 7. Cause,
I would think so as well.
Because last time, some of the Samsungs implemented it or the Androids implemented it last time, but it was like a halfway. Like no one really had it fully.
Well, it wasn't fully functional, right?
It wasn't fully functional, yeah.
It wasn't all enabled.
Right, like the 6 gigahertz band wasn't enabled, or the band or the operation mode was only like 80 megahertz, they didn't get the full 160, something like that. So it was never fully baked in. Apple kind of waits a little while to make sure that everything's ready to go, and now it is for sure. So you'll see, like on my laptop right now, I'm connected to the ECW526, and my laptop has a 2x2 Intel BE200 card in there. So I did my internet speed test, and I'm getting 1.4 gig down on my internet connection, which that's maxed out pretty much, right? And then if I do like an open speed test, I'm getting almost 2.4 gig on the 2.4. So we'll be seeing those same speeds on the iPhone. So if you have a connection that's like over 2 gig, when the new iPhone comes out, they're going to be able to pull that much bandwidth, whether they need it or not. People say, "Oh, why do you need it on an iPhone?" But there's a lot of applications that do need it, like iCloud backup, photos, like as soon as that bandwidth's there, the phone will use it, right?
yeah, exactly.
It's not like Facebook's not going to use it, but like when it's running backups and backing up all your data, backing up all your photos, moving photos to iCloud, all that stuff, that takes tons of data.
Yeah.
So
and time, right?
Yeah, and time. So the faster it can do it, the less battery it's going to use. It's going to be all more efficient.
Right.
All right, Bryan. Anything else you want to talk about this week?
No. I mean, the only things I would, in regards to the 526, right? We're talking about a $299 price point for the 526. It's a tri-band, so you're operating on 2.4, 5, 6. You have up to 700 megabits on 2.4, 2.9 gig on 5, 5.8 on 6 gigahertz.
Yeah.
It's a 2x2 design. And the radio output power's on the higher level, and the antenna gain is 6 dBi on all of them, except for the 6, you get 5 dBi. So it's a high performance AP at really a really great price point.
And I know we talked about this before, but Wi-Fi 7 implements multi-link also. So
yeah, we didn't even talk about that yet.
Yeah, we didn't talk about it today, but we have before. But so it implements multi-link, and like right now on Windows 11 on the dev channel, like my laptop's connected to multi-link, so it's connected on the 5 and 6 gigahertz bands at the same time. So yeah, that gives you faster speed, but it also improves reliability. Now, when the iPhone, if it has this capability, if it's like fully baked in, right, the full Wi-Fi 7, it's going to have multi-link too. So it's going to give you not only a faster connection, but like a more reliable connection, because it's going to be it's going to be on 2 bands concurrently. And if one drops out, gets interference, it's going to keep. It's not going to have to retransmit. It's going to send the data over the other band, right?
Yep.
So another good reason to go with Wi-Fi 7. All right, guys. So remember to like and subscribe. Ask us any questions in the comments if you have any questions about Wi-Fi 7. As to our, if you're going to implement it, any questions you might have about that, and come back